Will coming to you live for our midweek devotion. This week we're going to hear from Paul, his letter to the Romans, chapter 15, verse 13, where he prays, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in faith, so that you overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." Now, in my mind, joy, hope, and peace are all intimately involved with each other. They complement and inform and lift up each other so that to be joyful is to be hopeful, is to be peaceful. They move from one into the other and back. I called them kissing cousins at a Bible study earlier this week, but that might even be too far apart. They're like three sides of a triptych, a type of art that has three panels, all depicting parts of the same scene, with the middle often being the literal centerpiece. Separate, they would be fine, but together they create a sort of wholeness. For Christian art, a scene with Jesus would often be in the middle, with complementary scenes or people flanking either side. Think like Mary and John the Baptist on his sides. One of the benefits of a triptych was that they were often portable. The two outside pieces would fold into and on top of the middle piece, closing it all and protecting what's inside. I think this idea works for joy, hope, and peace. The prayer we led off this short devotion with comes from Paul's letter to the Romans, and near the end of the letter at that. It comes after he spent copious amounts of time and ink detailing the saving work of Christ and how that work informs the Christian life. In the immediate foreground is the end of Paul's scriptural evidence of Gentile inclusion within God's love, people who weren't Jewish. Paul wants the Roman Christians to have hope. Hope that because God has called and redeemed Gentiles, people long thought to be outside of God's chosen people, that no one is beyond God's saving hand. Hope that God has grace and mercy on everyone. Paul wants these Roman Christians to be overflowing with this hope that it spills over. I imagine that it would spill over onto others too. Hope is at the center of his prayer, and it would be fine by itself. But Paul knows better. Hope doesn't just happen. It isn't an accident. It isn't all by itself. Hope is the end result of joy and peace. They flank, protect, and hold hope up. Joy is cheerfulness, delight, rejoicing. Joy to the world is simply to delight in the world because Christ has come. Peace is rest, wholeness, a feeling where everything is as it should be. That Jesus is the Prince of Peace means he is the one to inaugurate a kingdom where everything just makes sense, at least to God. Put them together, joy and peace, and you have hope. The belief and confidence that rejoicing that everything is as it should be, everything as it should be will continue. I suppose one could also just call this faith, and you get no argument from me. But if in this season you find your hope lagging, sagging, or basically in the dumps, it's hard not to feel that way. Maybe focus less on that, on trying to be hopeful, and more on joy and peace, and where they surprisingly show up. Where is it in the world you feel lighter and in God's presence? What sound or smell brings you to a place of rest? For me, I'm looking forward to smelling Jesus' birthday cake on Christmas morning. It's a tradition in my family, started when I was a kid, where we bake a coffee cake and then sing happy birthday to Jesus before opening presents on Christmas morning. Just the smell or imagining it brings me back to that short moment of peace before the chaos of the morning. The kicker to all this, though, is that Paul isn't telling the Romans to just have hope or be joyful or to make peace. There are no proverbial bootstraps here with which you can pull up. You won't hear Nike telling you to just do it. Instead, Paul prays that God would make it happen. He calls on the one who brought life from death to do another miracle and bring hope through joy and peace. Just a small thing, right? But know that in this busy and hectic and at times a forcefully jolly season, I'm praying this prayer for you. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace and faith, so that you overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. May it be so this day.